One of the most common questions I receive online is, when can I retire? So today I will be showing you how to figure out how close you are to retirement based on your age. And as a certified financial planner, I've seen it all, from aggressive early retirements to late bloomers. And with that's why I figured out the clear milestones for how close someone is to retirement, from their 30s all the way to their 50s. And that's exactly why I'm making this video today. And this video won't just be the milestones to help you know how close you are, but I'll actually give you 2 different ways to calculate how close you are to retirement with a bunch of helpful tips at each career stage. So with that, let's get into it. Starting with the first career stage, your early career stage, ages 25 to 35. Really, the milestone here is to save 1 times your annual salary, right? And if we put numbers around that, let's just say somewhere between $15,000 and $100,000 by age 35. Since this is the beginning of your financial journey, the foundation is the most important part, right? Learning to live within your means, save the difference, and be patient with compound growth, right? We're on the get rich slow path. It actually works. I would recommend consider targeting at least 15% savings of your gross income towards retirement, and even setting aside an additional 10% for short-term savings goals like a home or a future wedding engagement ring or car replacement, right? So in total, saving 25% of your income, 15% long-term, 10% for these short-term needs. And doing that first, paying yourself first, and being able to live off the difference. If you're doing this, you are on a great financial start. And the reality is you can be invested in a target date fund through your employer retirement plan. And while you're young, Roth probably makes sense, right? Because you're only going to make more money as you invest in your career and advance your income potential. Tax rates are likely only going to go up, unless Congress changes something. We know in a few years tax rates will be a little bit higher than they are today. And so Roth is a good starting point for early career, meaning you're paying the taxes on your retirement savings now. Hey, by the way, you're also an adult, so you need to have a power of attorney in place. If something happened to you, who's going to step in and make healthcare and financial decisions for you? While you were a minor, your parents were able to do that without a power of attorney, but now that's something that you can get pretty cheaply online, or you can meet with a local attorney and take care of that. I want to offer you a complimentary call where I'll sit down and analyze your exact situation and help you plan for a more successful retirement. If you're interested, you can book in the link below. Now with that, back to the video. The next age group, ages 35 to 45, mid-career. Now, this is a very chaotic stage of life because for many of you, you are getting married, you are adding dependents and children and buying homes, and there's a lot that's going on financially. But the milestone, how to know that you're on track for retirement. So, by age 45, you should have 3 times your annual salary saved up. Put numbers on that. Let's just say somewhere between $100,000 and $300,000 of income. Saving Roth at this point probably can still make sense since you have so much time for the after-tax money to grow and compound. The target date fund is probably still appropriate, as most of your retirement savings are still in your retirement account at this stage. But now we got to start thinking of the other retirement readiness, financial wellness aspects of your life, right? Once you're married and have dependents, you need life insurance and disability insurance. You have people who are dependent on your ability to turn your human capital, your labor, into money, into income. And you need to protect that human capital. If you died, that's where life insurance comes in. If you were unable to work, that's where disability insurance comes in. By the way, if you can't work, not only do you still have the income needs, but you also have additional expenses potentially from healthcare and being disabled. So extremely important to cover that. We talked a little bit about estate planning in the early career, how important the power of attorney is, but now a will is really important, especially with dependents, because now you determine guardianship of if you and your spouse are unable to take care of your kids, who's stepping in to raise them for you. And if you don't make the decision, well, guess what? The state that you lived in has made that decision for you, and each spouse's parents may be fighting over custody of your kids, and that's probably not what you want. So yeah, updating your estate plan at each life transition, marriage, divorce, childbirth, reviewing it at least makes a lot of sense right here. I mentioned in the early career, if you could be saving 15% for your long-term retirement savings, you're probably on a good path if you could continue that through your whole career. Well, let's say you get to age 35 and you haven't saved anything for retirement. Well, now you may need to be saving 20% of your income to reach your retirement goals. Late career, so ages 45 to 55. By age 55, hopefully you've saved 7 times your annual salary. If we had to put numbers around this, again, ballpark somewhere between $300,000 and $750,000 of income in your retirement accounts. This is the age group late career where you're probably making more money than you ever have in your career, right? And so now is when you can start thinking about transitioning from after-tax Roth contributions to pre-tax traditional contributions. Save the money on taxes now because you'll be retired soon, potentially in a lower tax bracket where you can maybe even do Roth conversions. Regardless, and as you're crossing that, once you have more than $500,000 of assets, and you may you may now have assets accumulating outside of retirement accounts. This is where I think it makes sense to sit down with an advisor and be strategic with your asset location, right? So instead of just one target date fund, separating your bonds and your stocks and being intentional, having tax inefficient bonds inside a tax deferred account and having tax efficient stocks that are paying qualified dividends in your taxable account, and all of that is based on your income needs and when you need access to the cash and the time horizon, right? Time horizon should dictate your investment strategy. But yeah, these are things that you're thinking about at this stage to help you be on track for retirement. Late career, this is the time where you're really wanting to start paying off debt, paying down your mortgage, eliminating any remainder student loans that you may have out there. If you get to age 45 and now you're in your late career and you haven't saved anything for retirement, you need to start contemplating saving 25% of your income to make up for lost time. And I know it's hard to go from 0 to 25. So just start where you can and just crank it up a little bit over time, right? Like I said, you can try and earn a little bit more money, or maybe a part-time job, or asking for a promotion, or earning a pay raise. Or the reality is, for your retirement readiness, you may have to work a little bit longer, or plan on spending less in retirement, right? There's a bunch of levers that you can to still get you where you want to go, but it's going to take some work. Last age group, pre-retirement, ages 55 to 65. Targeting 12 times your annual salary is a good goal. If we had to put numbers on that, I would say between $750,000 and $1.5 million and above. This is where, again, if you haven't met with an advisor in late career, this is definitely a time to start meeting with an advisor and mapping out your retirement income plan, where to pull money from, tax efficiently navigating your healthcare coverage before Medicare if you step away from work early. For a lot of people that are doing well on this financial independence path, this is where work becomes optional, and they may still choose to work, but it's in a less stressful job than their late career high earning profession, right? And so they've kind of built themselves that cushion, that freedom, that security in order to do that. Now, one thing that is important before you go full retirement is to consider your long-term care needs, right? You may not have those expenses for 20 years, but the insurance, the coverage will be cheaper between ages 55 and 65 than when you're actually in retirement. Also, when you're younger, it's better chance that you'll actually pass underwriting for long-term care, especially if you have legacy goals or money that you want to leave behind. It's one of those things that you can address pre-retirement to protect the financial capital that you've worked so hard to build up. This time is about aligning all of your resources, your capital, and your time with what's important to you, right? That's how you maximize life. Now, I did tell you that on top of milestones, I would actually give you 2 different ways to calculate your retirement readiness. And the easiest way is this, and I also get questions like this, I just need to know what's my number? When can I retire? And the easiest way to get you into the ballpark of what your number is taking your current net pay. Everybody knows their gross pay, right? Their salary, how much they earn an hour or what their annual salary is. But I want you to go one step further and think about how much money actually hits your bank account every pay period. And whatever that number is, I want you to multiply it by the number of pay periods in a year and divide it by 0.04. This will give you a ballpark number to know how much money in your portfolio you'll need to sustain your current net pay in retirement without other income sources. Again, that's just ballpark number. And actually, you can take that ballpark number and plug it into a time value of money equation, since you now know the future value, you know your present value, which would be whatever current money that you have saved up. You know how much your payment is, what you're saving a year towards retirement. And for interest rate, you could use something conservative like 6%. And with that, you'd be able, using a time value of money calculator, you could solve for the number of periods and figure out exactly how far away you are from retirement, or at least ballpark it, right? Now, the other calculator that can help you get there, if you're nervous about time value of money calculations, well, guess FINRA has a retirement income calculator where you don't have to worry about any formulas. You can just type in the cells, what your situation is, and it will give you, again, a ballpark estimate of where you are on your path of retirement based on your age, your current age, on your retirement age, your current savings, and then how much you need to be saving monthly to get there, or annually to get there. Now that you know where you should be on your retirement journey based on your age, you need to understand one thing. These age-based milestones are just the beginning of your financial readiness. The truth is, I meet with people all the time who thought they were where they needed to be based on their age, only to discover serious gaps in their financial planning that could cost them years of financial freedom. From understanding how your career path affects your timeline, to adjusting for unique lifestyle goals and addressing different risks in retirement, there's so much more that goes into determining your true retirement readiness. So if you're ready to take the next step towards your financial goals, click the first link in the description below to book a complimentary call where I'll sit down with you and help you create your optimal retirement plan. With that, see you in the next one.